So I want to clear up some rumors by my usual trolls and psychos that have made it their life for almost a year to lie about my story, about my evidence. Funny enough, that one of the men that is terrorizing me that claims he's a journalist is the very one that stole federal evidence, which has been reported to the FBI, who happens to have the original documents that I spent copying all the evidence, over $8,000 when I calculate like that I spent 3 days at Kinko's spending several $1,000s in Houston, Texas, and then paid like over $6,000 for web designer. So these people can target me when they got away with stealing my evidence, and why the FBI hasn't released it is a mystery. Oh, that's right. They don't want to be in trouble, right? Because they have this evidence now for almost a decade. Oh, okay. So here's the latest. So we have these crazy people like Toby Hewitt out of Sacramento, California, and Wilbur Witt Jr., who goes by Bill the Butcher, like that sounds credible, and Robert Beatty. They're the three main people who terrorize me, harass me, cyber stalk me. And Robert now, I just saw, is creating another lie on his hate site that I got arrested or whatever the other day. It's a total lie. Everywhere I go for almost 9 months, everywhere I'm a regular at, this crazy lady named Toby Hewitt will see me doing either a video or taking pictures, and will call the police or the restaurant or the Starbucks coffee place or wherever and say that I'm committing crimes or harassing customers or making a scene or yelling at a customer or needs to have a psych check done on me. And Robert just lied and said, oh, here she is being kicked out of businesses again. For your information, Robert, you're under investigation by the FBI. I also have 3 case numbers against you. I have, I believe, multiple case numbers against Wilbur Witt Jr., with witnesses that have called as well and made criminal reports on you, Toby Hewitt, and Wilbur Witt Jr., who lives in Killeen, Texas. All of them with witnesses have been reported to FBI. I have a case number, or I guess you call it agent reference number, whatever. And they still think they're above the law, and they're still lying about my story, photoshopping my pictures, literally making me look up to 300 to 500 pounds, no joke. Grossly obese, something like 6 chins, and we can laugh about that. But they've taken over my social media. I mean, totally taken over it. Mainly Wilbur Witt Jr., who's done, I don't know, I lost count. But I counted hundreds of videos that have been uploaded without my permission. Even a short movie we did just for fun that they don't say is a movie, and they make it look like it's real and cause people to call 911 thinking I was in danger. It was a little short film about what it's like to be a targeted individual. So the truth of the matter is, Robert, you're a psycho. Not only did you get away with joining people on a troll site where they were threatening my life and admitting they were following me wearing wigs and taking my pictures, not cyber stalking, real life stalking, but you joined them and literally were participating in a crime. I have a federal case number, as you know. I reported you to the federal courthouse, and Wilbur, and Toby, and I'm going to be putting it in writing for the judge on grounds to strengthen my case. All y'all did, you stupid people, all you did was strengthen my case on what it's like to be a targeted individual. Even the police said, who is paying this man? Why do they target you? Why won't they leave you alone? I said, welcome to my world. I've been going through this for almost a decade. This is nothing new. These are just, it is worse than usual. I've never been through this. I've never been kicked out of businesses in my life, and they'll come up to me, ma'am, someone just called. And they already admitted, like, oh, I don't know how many times her name is Toby, even the police. And yet they were allowing it. And they put me in handcuffs and abused me, where I ended up in the hospital 3 times. And Robert is claiming now that it's some kind of mental illness I have, when I'm actually being treated, as we speak, for the injuries of what happened from the officers on what they caused when they attacked me. So, Robert, as usual, you're a liar, you're a piece of crap, and I'm sorry if I'm being unprofessional, y'all, but if you knew how these people have terrorized us to the point where we've had to move, my boyfriend and I, who's also being targeted by them, we've had to move 7 times in less than a year over it, and we're about to move again. They got my boyfriend unlawfully arrested But the funny thing is, he wasn't even wearing a trench coat to prove that we were targeted. He was wearing a trench coat 2 days before, and the police still arrested him on a false call to Starbucks that we were, I don't even understand it still. But even when I had proof it wasn't true, because we had been at McDonald's and we were very briefly at Starbucks. He usually gets a coffee, and I usually get either hot tea or iced tea. And I bought something like 5 or 6 things there for even homeless people. And to my disbelief, Starbucks, who knew my story, even told them if anyone calls up here, it's a hoax. And they still went along with it as a good customer. And wait till you hear this. Starbucks sponsors our veterans show that we're coming out with in March, where we're helping homeless veterans on a television show that's going to be nationalized. I am the host. I'm also a co-assistant involved with the show. And to my disbelief, Starbucks knew this. And Starbucks in Baytown, knowing this, knowing that downtown Starbucks sponsors our show, knew that I was a targeted individual and still sided with the phone call. I'm like, ma'am, don't you get it? This happens everywhere I go. You know I'm a good customer. Oh, I know. Next thing I knew, she was in the back, and I heard her calling the police. I have every intentions of going after Starbucks for what they did to me, how they watched these cops brutally throw me on a metal chair, handcuff me, and no, Robert, they weren't stupid enough to put me in the car, you dumb waste of space man. Why don't you get a real job? Because you're no journalist. If you were a journalist, you would know that I never went in the police car. That someone started videotaping the cops, and I gave them my name, and then they let me go. I'm smarter than you think, Robert. That's why I won 2 cases against 2 officers, cooperated with Internal Affairs, the Public Integrity Unit, and others to take away the bad guys, including a bad cop. And now still more things are under investigation after the cop that messed with me was charged with 2 felonies, indicted as well, and went to jail and got off the hook on good behavior, because after all, it's the good old boys protecting the good old boys. Robert, I'm going to get to the bottom of why you are relentlessly going after me with these crooks, with people that have felony records, with people that have records a mile long, and he puts them as witnesses on his hate site called Robert Beatty versus Amy Sharon. Don't believe what you see on Google. Don't believe what you see on YouTube, because unfortunately, these people are unlawfully taking my stuff. They're altering my words. They're changing my pictures. They're changing things that I'm holding to make it look like I'm, trying to represent something different than what I am. It is a joke, and it's all on investigation. I am not going to arrest Robert till you are in prison with Toby Hewitt and Wilbur Witt Jr. End of story. Keep it up, sir. I guarantee you, just like I told the officer who said, word for word, you're pretty hot for a BITCH, because I told him, I will handle you, even though he illegally put me in jail. I won the case, as you know. And I'm going to say the same thing that I said to Officer Kenneth Troops. You will regret what you've done to me. I don't know who you are. I don't know why you're saying you have permission to share my stuff. That's a lie. You were blocked with everyone a long time ago. You are illegally posting my information. I'm going to be posting a letter to you that a lawyer has confirmed is legal. And if you don't stop, I will not only see you in prison, but I will be suing you, Toby, and Wilbur Witt Jr. for defamation of character, slander, and stealing my federal evidence. And when there's a protective order, I was told, on the evidence, and you're putting it up without my permission, and you're doing it to destroy a federal lawsuit that I have against the state of Texas and the Harris County Police Department. You are defending CPS, you're defending bad cops, you're defending people that harm me, and Robert, you are one sick man. And Wilbur and Toby, you're not going to get away with this. Toby, all your death threats, you really impersonating cops, you really think you're not going to go to prison? You wait. When it's over, you're going to see. I'm having to deal with crooked cops and all this stuff, but I'm very smart. Just like that cop didn't think he'd go to jail, he did. I will win, because ignorance is never going to win, and the truth will always prevail. Y'all are all cyber stalkers, you're all haters, you're all cyber bullies, but you're more than that. You've been harassing me nonstop, short of what, couple months of a year. It's gonna stop. Stop calling businesses, stop lying about Johnny and I. You're gonna regret it, Robert, Wilbur, and Toby, and your little evil trolls that go by Bless the Little Trolls. You're all gonna regret it. I guarantee it.